and welcome to Crafting with Ty and Friends. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create these tutu anklets. I'm going to be showing you guys this version using 1.5-inch ribbon and 7/8-inch ribbon, and also this version of using two 7/8-inch ribbon. And you can also take this concept and use just 1.5 inches of ribbon, just one ribbon. Instead of having two colors, you can just use one piece of ribbon. So let's begin. You want to start off with cutting 2.5 inches of ribbon. You can do three, you can do 3.5 if you want them to be more fluffy, but I think this is fluffy enough. So I do 2.5 inches of 2.5 inches, or 2.5 yards of ribbon. So go on ahead and cut your ribbon that you're going to use, 2.5 yards of each ribbon. And then we're going to be using some elastic. Now I use 1/4 of elastic. This is the size that I use. You can use a bigger size. It's all your preference. And you're going to also need safety pins or something to guide your elastic through. And you're going to be needing tulle. I use 6 inches or 3-inch tulle. Either will work. So let's begin. Okay, so since this tutu anklet has 2 ribbons that are printed on it, I am going to be sewing the bottom ribbon first, which is this ribbon. So what I'm doing is placing my tulle down first, and then I am going to be placing my ribbon on top of the tulle. So I leave probably like 5/8 of an inch to be sewn from the tulle. Then I'm just sewing right close to the edge of the ribbon as possible. So begin sewing. Remember to back stitch. Always back stitch to lock in your stitches. You back stitch at the end and at the beginning. You can take your time. You don't have to go as fast as I'm going. There's no rush. Every time I'm slowing down, I'm just adjusting my tulle to make sure that it's under my ribbon and it's getting caught. If you have a guider, you can use it. It helps you out a little better. So it just makes sure that you're lined up all the time. You guys can see that. But I don't really use it. Again, I'm using the 6-inch tulle instead of 3 inches. That's just because this is what I had in the pink. You can use white, whatever color you use for the tulle, because it really don't show. My tulle is still on the boat. I didn't measure my tulle and cut it. I just run it off the boat. Of course, I measured my ribbon. As y'all can see, there's a little bit of tulle that is sticking out right here. I don't know if y'all can see it. I'll show y'all after I'm done. All right, we're getting to the end. Y'all remember to back stitch to lock those stitches in. All right. Okay, so we have finished sewing our ribbon to our tulle, and what we're going to do is go ahead and cut our tulle. Just go on and give it a cut. Okay, so this is the piece I was mentioning that is hanging from the back. Just cut off that extra tulle, and then we are going to be sewing on our other ribbon and making our casing at the same time. Okay, so since our second ribbon is also a printed ribbon, we're going to put our tulle down first, and then put our printed ribbon on top, and we're going to sew. So your piece should look like this if you got 6 inches or 3 inches of tulle. Um, I have 6 inches here. Of course, 3 inches is the normal size you start with when creating these tutu socks, but I don't have time to fold and cut these. So this is how I do it. Now we're going to sew our ribbon and make our casing for our elastic at the same time. So what you're going to do is take your tulle and you are going to fold it similar to this. And as you guide it under your machine, you might have to, fold it, but that's fine. It doesn't have to be a perfect fold. You just want to make sure that your casing for your elastic stays the same length to fit the size elastic that you have. So we're going to take our ribbon and we're going to place it just like this. Now I overlap mine just a little bit. As you can see, it's overlapping the bottom ribbon. So once you put your elastic in it, it's overlapping like this. Now we're going to go to the machine and sew our ribbon in our casing. Make sure you back stitch to lock those stitches in. Take your time if you need. It is not a rush, it's no rush to get these things done, so. Adjust your tulle as you see fit. If it's easier for you to pin your ribbons together when sewing your casing, that's fine too, whatever helps you get your job done. Now, once you've sewn your second ribbon and your casing on, you should have something that looks like this with extra tulle. Now, you can cut this tulle off, and this could be your second anklet. So that's what we're going to do because, no wasted material. Also, don't forget to heat seal your ends of your ribbon. Otherwise, they will fray and come loose. So let me cut off this extra tulle and I will be back. Okay, so now we got tulle cut. You can use this piece for your other anklet like I stated earlier. And your piece should look like this. You should have your top and bottom and your casing together. Now we're going to take our 5-inch piece of elastic. I cut mine at 5 inches because at the end I stretch it a little bit to sew it together. So we're going to take our 5-inch elastic and we're going to take some safety pins. So I have these huge safety pins right here. I have 2 of them. So I'm going to put one on one end, and this is what the end I'm going to use to guide it through the casing. Now, normally, Lord, I use these little gadgets right here to stick thread or string or elastic through the items that I'm doing. These are made by Dritz. I don't know if you guys can see it up on there. It says Dritz. I got these from, I believe, Joann's many moons ago. But they come in handy. I'm not going to use them today. I will be doing it the old-fashioned way. So I am going to take my elastic. You see my ribbon is cut a little longer than what it's supposed to. That's an easy fix. You can just cut it. I was gonna wait till the end to do that, but we're gonna cut it and we're gonna heat seal that end, you guys. Now we're gonna take our elastic and we're going to guide it through the casing as such. Just guide it, pull it down as you go along. Yep. And now I'm going to take my other safety pin and put it on the end so I don't pull the elastic through here while I'm guiding it. And what I'm going to do is attach my safety pin to the ribbons to ensure that it doesn't go through. Now you're just going to continue guiding and pulling it down as you go. Then once you get to the end, we're just going to pull it out here like this. Hold on to that safety pin. I'm going to grab this safety pin too. And I'm going to pull it out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to the sewing machine. And we are going to sew our elastic down. Oops, sorry. Like this. So you're going to just put them on top and we're going to sew going just like this. So what I normally do is cross it probably like an inch or so. Then I take my safety pin and I actually put it towards the end of the bottom elastic like this. I'll show you guys so I can just pin it down. Hopefully y'all can see that. See, so that side is pinned. If I let it go, there's no issues. Now let's go to the sewing machine. I hope you guys can see. So we're going to take our elastic, just stretch it, you guys, so your hands is out the way. And we're placing it right under the sewing machine. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Now we're going to sew front stitch, back stitch. So I front stitch and back stitch a few times. Then we're going to pull it out. Cut it. Cut off our straggly strings. So we sewn, sorry. Now we're going to cut off all our straggly strings. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'm sorry. Oh. As y'all can see, this is how I sewn it. Just sew it back and forth. And I'm going to cut off this extra little elastic right here that the safety pin was holding down. Now we have our tutu socks pretty much almost done. Now what you want to do is take your ruffle and make sure that it's all set the same side, sorry. So of course you're going to move your ruffles around to distribute them out evenly. And you might have to, you know, turn your ruffles till they're all facing up. Oops, wrong way. All right, so we got all our ruffles facing up. Now what we're going to do is take our two ends, they're here, and we are going to line them up as such, like this. Now we're going to take them to our sewing machine and we are going to sew them together just like this. You can use a zigzag stitch or a straight stitch. I've always used straight stitch. So let's go. So we're placing them under our sewing machine. You don't have to go close to the edge or anything because you can always clip when you need it. So let's go. Forward stitch, back stitch, to lock those stitches in. back stitch. Okay, so we got that stitched together. As y'all can see, it's a little not too close to the edge. So I'm going to take my scissors here and I'm just going to cut off that extra, and I'm going to heat seal my ends again because we are cutting off the heat sealed ends. So we have to reseal them. So take your lighter, whoop, and just, you know, heat seal the ends. Now you have your tutu sock. Oops, sorry guys, I was trying to distribute my ruffles a little better, but there you guys go. Now let's go back to the machine and I'm going to show you guys how to do one using 7/8 ribbon and a 1.5 inch ribbon. You can always use just one ribbon. You don't have to do double ribbon. If you are going to use one ribbon, I always suggest a 1.5 inch or bigger, 2 inches, 3 inches ribbon, so so your ruffles can look good. Because normally, these are smaller, so that's why I used double when I was doing these. So let's go ahead and show you guys how to do these. So of course we're cutting our ribbon at 2.5 inches, same as before. So let's go. Now for this one, I will be using the 3-inch tool because I found white ones in Hobby Lobby with that's 3-inch. And I just want to give you guys a tip real quick. So I have my gray ribbon that isn't quite the 2.5 yards that I need, but I have another piece that helps it equals 2.5 yards. Now what you can do is you can take some fabric glue and glue these together and continue using it as one piece. But what I do is I basically just heat seal them together. So I'll take them together and match them up and heat seal, squeeze down. It don't have to be perfect. And there we go. Okay, so heat seal your ends. Once you have your ends heat sealed, what we're going to do is take our 2 ribbons and we're going to put them on top of each other. And then we are going to sew them down to each other. You just want to sew at the top as close as possible as you can. You can leave a little room if you want. That's your choice. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to take our 1.5 inch and our 7/8 inch and we're going to put them on top of each other and we're going to sew. If you have printed ribbon, make sure your printed ribbon is the good side is facing up, not down. Let's go. All right, let's start sewing. Make sure you back stitch to lock those stitches in. You're always back stitching to lock those stitches in. If you don't back stitch, your stitches can come loose. Take your time if you need to. Stop and make adjustments as needed. All right, back stitch. All right, so if your ribbon has a little extra, just cut it off. And remember to heat seal. Always remember to heat seal. So your thing should look something like this. Both of your ribbons are connected to each other. Sewn at the top. All the way down. Now what we're going to do now is sew on our tool with the casing. And you can do that two ways. You can put your ribbon down first and take your tool, fold it to create your casing. Oh, wrong side for my ribbon, sorry y'all. And put your tool on top and sew down your casing. Or you can put your ribbon down first, your tool down first, and then put your ribbon on and sew down your ribbon. That's the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to be putting my tool down first and putting my ribbon on top and sewing. That's only because I have black thread in my bobbin. I didn't change it out. And I want the gray thread on top. But if I had gray thread in my bobbin, I would put my ribbon down first because it's easier for you to guide the tool. But yeah, if you put your ribbon down first, make sure you put the nice side down so that the tool is being sewn on the raw side. So let's take this to the sewing machine and let's get going. All right, so we're taking our tool and we're folding it so we can get that casing. I'm just gonna fold it in half since we are using the 3-inch tool. And I'm going to guide it under. I'm going to leave my casing for my elastic. I am using 3/4 of elastic, I believe. 1/4 of elastic. So you just want to make sure that your casing is fitting your elastic. Put that down for a second. Then we're going to come and take our ribbon that we have already sewn together. And we're going to place it on top of the tool. I try to either sew on top of the thread I already sewn or right next to it, just depending on what color I'm using and all of that. So let's go. Oh, hold on, y'all. All right, make sure you guys backstitch. And let's go. We're coming to the end. Make sure you guys backstitch. Lock those stitches in, you guys. It's very important. All right, so we're done. Let's go ahead and cut off the extra tool because remember we put the tool on the boat while we're using it. It just makes it a little easier for me. You guys can actually measure your tool out and cut it. I think I said that before, but yeah. So this is how it should look. You guys should have some extra tool on the back that you can cut out. So let me go ahead and cut out that tool and I'll be back. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing as last time when guiding our elastic through. So here we are. Cut off your excess thread. You can adjust your ruffles, and we have our second sock. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, happy crafting.
I said don't stop, don't stop, don't stop talking to me. Stop, don't stop, don't stop.